On March 29, 1849, inside the mirrored halls of the Lahore fort, a 10-year-old boy named Dalip Singh sat surrounded by British officers. Separated from his mother, he was under intense pressure to sign a document handing his entire kingdom over to the British East India Company. The document they placed in front of him, the Treaty of Lahore, specifically singled out the Koh-i-Noor in its own dedicated clause, Article 3. It mandated that the diamond be surrendered directly to the Queen of England. The legal phrasing is revealing. The boy didn't gift the stone to Queen Victoria. The treaty dictates it shall be surrendered. The British drafted it as a spoil of war. Today, the UK government points to this document as proof of a legal transfer, but multiple nations view this exact moment as coercion, demanding the return of what they consider stolen colonial loot. To evaluate whether the British claim of legal acquisition holds up, we have to look at the century of violence and extortion that placed the stone in Lahore to begin with. Extracted thousands of years ago from the alluvial sands of the Golconda lines in southern India, the massive diamond eventually entered the treasury of the Mughal Empire. There, it was set into the head of the spectacular, gem-encrusted peacock throne. In 1739, the Persian ruler Nader Shah swept into Delhi, decimated the Mughal army, and looted their treasury, leaving a power vacuum in his wake. According to historical accounts, a palace courtesan tipped off Nader Shah that the defeated Mughal emperor had hidden the great diamond inside his turban. Bound by strict laws of royal hospitality, the emperor could not refuse when the Persian conqueror proposed a ceremonial exchange of turbans to signify their new friendship. Unfolding the fabric later in his private quarters, Nader Shah was struck by the blinding flash of the stone. He exclaimed, "Koh-i-Noor," Persian for mountain of light. That act of extortion changed the diamond's trajectory. It ceased to be an ornamental jewel and became a physical talisman of regional supremacy. Any ruler who wanted to claim absolute dominion over South Asia now had to take the stone by force. But ancient Hindu texts carried a clear warning. The diamond brought extreme misfortune to male owners. Only a woman, or a god, could wear it with impunity. The Afghan Durrani dynasty saw relentless instability. Over 70 years, successive male rulers holding the stone were blinded, poisoned, or murdered. Fleeing this violence, the deposed king sought sanctuary in Punjab. Maharaja Ranjit Singh offered protection, but forced him to hand over the Koh-i-Noor. Ranjit Singh strapped the stone to his bicep and paraded it to his subjects. But shortly after his death, his empire collapsed into internal bloodshed, leaving his young son Dalip Singh, seen here, to inherit a fractured kingdom. The British East India Company watched this instability closely. They recognized that the local population viewed the Koh-i-Noor as the ultimate symbol of authority. Annexing the land wouldn't be enough to secure their rule. They needed to seize the diamond to make their victory complete. When the East India Company finally shipped the stone to London for the 1851 Great Exhibition, the British public was underwhelmed. In its original uncut form, it didn't catch the light the way they expected. To many, it looked like a dull piece of glass. Prince Albert decided to fix this by ordering the gem to be drastically recut to suit European tastes. The grinding process took 38 days and slashed the stone's weight nearly in half, from 186 carats down to 105.6, permanently destroying its original historical shape. The British monarchy also took the diamond's dark legend seriously. To step-side the curse that had ruined so many Afghan and Indian kings, they established a strict protocol. The Koh-i-Noor would only ever be worn by female monarchs or queen consorts. Today, the diamond no longer rides into battle on the arms of conquerors. It sits behind bomb-proof glass here in the Tower of London, a static, heavily guarded museum exhibit. By grinding the stone down and restricting who could wear it, the British systematically neutralized a volatile geopolitical weapon, converting a blood-soaked prize of war into a polite, sparkling accessory. This map shows the modern fallout of that acquisition. The Republic of India demands the diamond based on its geological origin. Iran points out that their ruler named it. Afghanistan argues it was stolen from their exiled king, while Pakistan cites its final location in Lahore before the British seized it. These claims are mutually exclusive. Returning the stone to India based on its origins ignores Pakistan's territorial claim to the Lahore treasury, and both ignore Afghanistan's history of possession. Satisfying one nation would require the British to officially pick a side in a century-old dispute. If the UK hands over the Koh-i-Noor, they concede that it was stolen, and returning this one famous piece of colonial loot invites a much larger, more dangerous question for the monarchy. How much of their empire's legacy would unravel next?